Hello, my sweet friends. Good to see you all. Dedicating this class to the full healing of Esther Bat Batya, Baruch Ben Ira, and Batya Bat Edith, and Yala Gavel Bat Carol Francis. And they were talking about gratitude, and we're going to discuss what is the effect of ingratitude. Like, why is it so bad to be ungrateful? Like, why is gratitude such a foundation for all the emotional traits? And so it says like this. Prayer, a lot of people when they pray, they complain to Hashem, they complain to God, and they say, oh God, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this, I don't have that. And that's just the way that they learned. They say, oh, this is how I pray. I don't know, this is how I learn. So Rabbi Dror Moshe brings down, he says that actually prayer in the form of complaint is not only not answered, but it stimulates even more harsh judgments, God forbid. Meaning that it brings you even more pain, I will see here. And it says here that the Halacha, the Code of Jewish Law, the Shulchan Aruch explains that if a person even thinks that he should be answered, he already awakens judgments on himself. Like we said before, there's two divine attributes of Hashem, judgment and mercy, and we always need to balance the two, and we need to bring mercy. We need to turn judgments into mercy through our prayers, through our actions. And so judgments are difficulties that come, and mercy is finding the good in those difficulties, or sweetening those difficulties, sweetening those judgments. So if a person relies on his merits and does not beseech Hashem and God and His kindness, despite his lack of merits, his deeds are thoroughly reviewed. And this is especially true in the case of a person that makes complaints or demands. It says like this, in the book of Exodus, the complaint that broke the camel's back, so to speak, that was like the end. They ended the complaint that was the spies that came into Israel and slandered the land of Israel. The Jewish people, Moses sent spies to say, hey, look and see what the land is about. You know, they've never been there. They came back and they said horrible things about it, that it eats its inhabitants, all kinds of stuff. In reality, what God was doing was bringing all the people there. He made them all sick or something like that. And then they all had to be in their houses. And so they were like, whoa, there's no people here, they're all dying. And because God wanted to protect the spies so the people there living in Israel wouldn't hurt them. And on, many, many, many things like that. There were huge fruit, amazing huge fruit. Grapes were the size of big things like this, huge things. And they just said horrible things about this. We can't conquer it, we can't do it, we can't go there, whatever. So then the Jewish people cried an entire night. They saw the miracles of the plagues in Egypt, and the splitting of the sea, and the giving of the Torah, and all this stuff that they saw, and they cried the whole night. So God said, you cried for no reason. I'll give you something to cry about for generations. This needless crying is a devastating punishment. Thousands of years of terrible exile, that's what it triggered. The punishment that the Creator decreed on the Jews is truly shocking. Do the people of Israel throughout the generations really deserve such tribulation because they cried for one night? Like we've been suffering for 2,000 years. The destruction of the two holy temples and the unspeakable torture and death of millions that have plagued the Jewish people throughout the generation and the exiles and all this, is this divine justice? And our own generation deals with a lot of things, with marital problems, diseases, traffic accidents, terror, dire economic problems, God forbid, all this stuff. This is the tip of the iceberg. Are these trials? We know that the exile is only because of this sin of the baseless crying after the spies. After all, what did they do? They didn't engage in idolatry at that moment, no debauchery, nothing. All you did was just cry. So we need to learn that there's no sin in the Torah that invokes even a fraction of this punishment. We need to know that the sin comes from ingratitude. The answer is simple. God despises ingratitude more than any other sin. He can't even stand self-pity either. Hashem is fully aware that people have evil inclinations, and we have challenges, but human faults don't come close to the trait of ingratitude. Just like a person needs to say thank you when you give him a gift, to be a human, to be a good person. Same with ingratitude. To God, say, God, thank you. And that's what we learn. That when you have gratitude and you work on it every day, and you say thank you, then you're building an amazing trait of gratitude that's going to provide. It's going to be the vessel for a lot of goodness in your life. Talk to you soon.